Hi everyone! In today's video, I would love to share to you some tips on how to perfect your speech, especially in the IELTS speaking part too. For me personally, I have never taken the real IELTS test before, but I do have some experiences when I take some mock tests, and I would love to share to you my experience on how I apply my knowledge into the test, and I hope you find this video useful. So, what are we waiting for? Let's jump right into it. Let's move on into the first tip that I always use. Before we start, I would like to clarify something. Is that there are no tips for you to magically get better at your grammar, get better at speaking, and to advance your vocabulary. For all of those, you just have to learn and gain and learn every single day because there are no tips to help you get better at grammar or your vocabulary. But I do have some tips to help you brainstorm your ideas better in a speaking test. And if you follow those structures, then your ideas will kind of like flow and your speech will be more detailed and it'll be better. Because you don't want to give a speech that's all messed up. For example, you're saying this and suddenly you jumped into that and there's just no structures in your speech whatsoever. So today, I'll give you two main structures that I sometimes or mostly use when I speak, not just in a speaking test, but in everyday life as well. The first one I'd love to use the most is called the what, when, where, why, how structure. So basically how this works is so easy. I'll give you an example, is that they ask you the question, do you like math? Right? Simple question. And if you just answer, yes, I like math, that answer is way too short. And you don't know how to make it longer. So if you follow the structure, then let's just say that your answer will magically be longer. I'm just kidding, but if you brainstorm your ideas through the structure what, when, where, why, how, then you can answer the question, do you like math? And here's how I will answer it. I must say I'm not very interested in learning math because personally, whenever I learned math, I find it so boring. For me, I learn math when I go to school and mostly I practice some exercises at home. There are many ways that I learn math. For example, I will download some exercises on the internet. If I stumbled during a question, I will ask for help. The reason that I'm not very keen on learning math is because it's just that I don't find it interesting and I don't have a lot of ways to learn math, and personally, I'm not even good at it. You see, I follow the structure. I follow by telling you how often do I learn math, how do I learn math, when do I learn math, and then I explain why don't I learn, why don't I like learning math. So those are the structure that I usually use, and you can pause the video to answer the same question by following the structure as well. Now, if you don't find the structure very useful, I suggest you the second structure, which is called past, present, and future. It's more interesting when you apply them in different types of questions. For example, I have this example I would like to read to you, is about a trip to London. So here it is. When I was a teenager, I'd never been to London before. And it was great to share the experience with my school friends. Today, I'm still impressed by the fact that it's historic but modern and thriving at the same time. It always seemed to me to be such a lively, fashionable, and cosmopolitan place. Coming from a relatively small town, the experience made me keen to visit more capital cities in the future. So you see, in this sample answer, I apply the past, present, and future structure. If you notice, I talked about when I was a teenager, I visited London for the very first time. That's the past. And present is until now. I'm still impressed because it's very modern, it's very historic, etc. And talking about the future is that in the future, I would love to visit more kind of like big cities to find more opportunities. Yeah, that's simple. I think that this structure will really help you to brainstorm your ideas better. Here's another question for you to brainstorm it is, do you like reading books? Just that simple. And here's how I will answer it instead of answer directly. Yes, I like reading books because books helps me widen my knowledge. It helps me gain more knowledge about the world and helps me to gain different perspectives. That's good. But if you want to advance your answer, then why don't you try to apply the structure? Past, present, and future. I remember when I was little, I'm not very keen on reading. Whenever I started a book, I can ever finish it since I'm a very impatient person. But now I've totally changed because from the moment I've set my eyes on a book, I felt I am visiting another world, and it helps me to gain more perspectives. In the future, I would love to explore different types of genres, not just the types of genre I'm reading now, but for example, I would love to read futuristic novels or thriller novels. So, that's why I said I love reading books, but instead of answering directly that I like reading book, I just apply the structure, which I said in the past, I'm not too keen on reading. But now, I love reading books. In the future, I would love to explore different genres of books. See? It's so much better. And I hope you can apply those structures like I do. See you.